Good day, everyone.
Good day, ma'am.
Are we ready for another day of learning with Miss Jose?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just to check our attendance as well as your audio and video for today, Mr. Shu Wang,
Present, ma'am.
Miss Jing Yang.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now let me hear from your ends. Are my audio and video clear?
Yes, ma'am.
How about my presentation? Can you see the presentation clearly?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, good. So for today's meeting, we are going to discuss models of possibilities. Without further ado, let us begin our discussion. In general, there are about 9 pure modal verbs, such as the three M's: must, may, and might, two W's, will and would, two C's, can and could, and the two S's, shall and should. Specifically for today's video, we will be focusing on this specific modal of possibility, might. Do you frequently use might when speaking of an event that may occur?
No.
Okay, I see. Modal verbs are used to express certain hypothetical conditions such as advice, capability, or requests. For non-native speakers, it could be weird sometimes to use modals of possibility. Do you find yourself in certain times where you would rather not use the verb might? Okay, I see. To lessen the tension and as we will go through this topic thoroughly, I will make sure that you are able to understand the rules and determine the modal verb might and its purpose. Miss Yang, can you read the first example presented?
I can't find the compass. I might have dropped it earlier.
Thank you. So what can you extract and comprehend from the first example?
The first example, I think, is talking about an accident that has happened in the past. It says that the subject might have dropped it before losing the compass.
That's a good observation, Miss Yang. How about you, Mr. Wang? Can you read the second example presented?
Yes, ma'am. I don't remember this path. We might be lost.
Okay, thank you. Similar to what I've asked Miss Yang, what can you extract and comprehend from the second example?
The second example is focused on the concert event and the subject is answered whether they will arrive at the place they are supposed to go.
That is correct, Mr. Wang. Lastly, who would like to read and answer the previous question for this example?
It's very cold outside. It might snow later on.
Thank you, Mr. Wang. So what have you observed with this third example?
Since the first two examples happened in the past and the present, the third example is just ought to happen. The subject is concerned with what might happen later with the cold weather.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Miss Yang and Mr. Wang, for your analysis. Um, there are about three possibilities, and all of which can be inserted with the modal verb might. The past possibility, the present possibility, and the future possibility. The first example falls under the past possibility, and the second one falls under the present possibility, and the last one falls under the future possibility. In terms of structure, the first example has the phrase might have dropped emphasize. Might has no participles and no infinitive form. There is no past tense, but might have, followed by a past participle, is used for talking about possibilities. I can't find the compass. I might have dropped it earlier. The usual formula for past possibilities can be extracted from this. Might, followed by have, followed by past participle. Why a past participle, you may ask, and not in a tense? Well, participles cannot be used alone, while words and tenses can. For the second example, it has the phrase might be emphasized. Might is a modal verb most commonly used to express possibility, and it is also often used in conditional sentences. For the second example, for present participles, might can be simply followed with a base form. I don't remember this path. We might be lost. And for the third example, notice how might is used. There is no future tense, but might is typically used for talking about future possibilities. Might itself can be used in talking about future possibilities. Might followed by base form, still, followed by future time. This can be used without any following infinitives. It's very cold outside. It might snow later on. Moving forward with our discussion, how do you think one makes use of the modal verb might and negatives? Do you have any idea how? Yes, Mr. Wang?
I think you just put note next to it.
Yes, that is correct. Simply put not after the modal verb. The use of not alone is enough to turn it into a negative. There will be no need to make use of did not or does do not. In addition to this, the usage of might in a negative use possibly did not take place. Could not, on the other hand, can be used when speaker is certain when something possibly took place. And to continue, under any circumstances, have you also noticed anything from the three possibilities? Yes, Miss Yan.
I noticed that the modal verb might did not change and remains to be might under the three possibilities.
Yes, that is correct, Miss Yan. Modal verbs such as might and the alike remains to be in the same structure as before, even if it falls into the three possibilities. Please take note of what I will be saying. Whether the subject is in plural or singular form, the modal verb might remains to be might. Whether the event had happened or it is still happening, it will not change into might with an ed or with an ing. Though it can be also said that might is the past of modal verb may. Are all of the things I've mentioned clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good then. Before wrapping the discussion up, let me ask you a few questions first to ensure that everything was clear and understandable. Okay, how can you differentiate the use of might under the three possibilities? State one and explain. Yes, Miss Yang? She raised her hand first. Mr. Wang can follow after she answers.
For the present possibilities, the whole grammar uh, the whole grammar
Structure.
structure the whole grammar structure is subject followed by might, followed by base from and then the verb.
Very well said. It is nice to know that you were very attentive to the details of the discussion, Miss Yang. How about you, Mr. Wang?
Yes, ma'am. I learned that in the past possibilities, the structure is subject followed by the modal verb follow and by have, and then followed by a past participle. I think the sentence in past possibility is longer than the sentences in the present and future possibilities.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wang. I agree. The sentences in past possibility are quite lengthy compared to the two. And now, lastly, we have the future possibilities. Who would like to answer this one? Yes, Mr. Wang, again?
Uh, Past possibilities, pre- present possibilities. Yeah, I learned that in the past possibilities, the structure is subject following by the modal verb follow and by the past from still and then followed by future time. From what you have said in the discuss on the discussion in future possibilities, it can be used without any following infinities.
Okay, very good. I was glad you were able to pick that up, Mr. Wang. How about turning the sentence with modal verbs into negatives? Anyone? Yes, Miss Wang? Miss Yang? Sorry.
I believe that we may make use of not after the modal verbs. We don't need to put didn't or don't anymore.
Yes, that is correct. And lastly, when do we use the modal verb might? Sorry, Miss Yang, but Mr. Wang got it first. Yes, Mr. Wang.
Uh, we use the modal verb, which when we are more likely to be uncertain about a situation instead of being confident that it really happened.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wang. Can you elaborate on that, Miss Yang?
Yes. An example I think is when there is a 20% chance of winning, it might win.
Okay, very good. I think that settles the whole discussion we've just had. Do you have any question, confirmation, or clarification? Yes, Miss Yang, what is it?
How do you construct a question with which?
Okay, well, when constructing a question with modal verbs, it comes before the subject first. For example, um, I might join the band tonight, sir. But if in interrogative form, might I join the band tonight, sir? Another important detail is to note that questions with might are all informal structure. Questions with this modal verb will not require due information. Did I answer your question, Miss Yang?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other question?
No, ma'am.
Okay then. Thank you, Miss Yang and Mr. Wang, for listening and participating throughout the discussion. Before dismissing and ending this meeting, just a reminder to kindly prepare yourself next meeting for another discussion concerning today's topic. We will be doing few exercises regarding the modal verb which, and I will be looking forward into your works whether the rules you have learned today will be applied. And that is all. See you next meeting. Thank you, class, and goodbye.
Bye bye, ma'am.